2016 mathematics paper. Now, before 2018, you had 11 questions on the paper, and you'd have to do the first 8 questions from section 1, and then you choose 2 from section 2. Of course, now with the new standard paper, you have to do everything, but don't worry about it. It's the same content. So let's get into it. Again, this is a list of formula sheet, and this is very useful. Very useful if you're not remembering some formula. You can always come back to it, whether you're finding volume, areas, trigonometry. This formula sheet is very helpful. All right, so let's start now. So question 1, section 1. It says, using a calculator or otherwise, work out this fraction giving your answer in its lowest term. Now, when you're doing these questions, I always say go straight to your calculator. So first thing you want to work out what is the numerator first. Simplify the numerator. So you put in your calculator 3 and 3 over 8, and then you subtract 2 and a quarter. All right, so 3 and 3 over 8, subtract 2 and a quarter. In the numerator, that's going to give us 1 and 1 over 8. All right, work out the numerator first. And then we're dividing it by 1.5. All right. After you simplify the numerator, then you can work out what's 1 and 1 over 8 over 1.5. So you divide it by 1.5, you put that in your calculator, and you're going to get 3/4. So the answer is 3/4. Nice and easy, soft. All right. And let's go to the second part now. So the second part, it gives us this statement here, and it says simplify this or evaluate this, giving your answer correct to 2 decimal places. This is very important. So first thing, always work out what's in the bracket first. So put in 2.86 plus the 0.75. When you add these two together, you're going to get 3.61. All right, so work out the brackets first. Then plus 0.481 square. So you're going to put 0.481 in your calculator and square it. When you square it, you're going to get 0.2313. Now you can go ahead and add the 2. And when you add the 2, what you're getting is 3.8413. So you get 3.8413 or 0.8413. This is what you're getting. But remember the question said to round off to 2 decimal place. So because this one is less than 5, then when we round it off, this is now approximately 3.84 because we want it to 2 decimal places. Nice and easy. No issues with this question. Let's move on. All right. Part B. Part B is telling us that Paul bought a computer and then he sold it. He wrote his business activity as follows. Cost price. Cost price means how much Paul bought the computer for. He bought it for $1,064. Marked price. Marked price is $1,399, and you give people a discount of 5%. What is the selling price? The selling price is the marked price and then take away the discount. All right. So pretty much, I like to call selling price SP. Let's call the selling price SP. Selling price is going to be the marked price multiplied by its mark price multiplied by 0.95. You might wonder why 0.95. Because if there's 5% discount on the item, then that means you're paying 95% of the market price. You're not paying the full money. You're not going to pay 100% of this money. You're paying 95% of it. So the market price times 0.95 will give you the selling price. And so what Paul sell it for is 1,399 multiplied by 0.95. Now let's evaluate that. 1,399 times 0.05. 1,399 times 0.95. That's going to be equal to $1,329.05. Right? That's how much money actually sold it for if it's by cash. It says now work out the profit or loss of the cost price. Now, first thing, before we even look at this, first thing I want you to write down is profit. Now, the profit is equal to selling price minus the cost price. That's the profit, selling price minus cost price. All right. Now, the selling price is 1,329.05 minus the cost price, which he paid $1,064 for. So when you take the difference, that will give you the profit. So in this case, what's his profit? Let's take the difference. So the profit is $265.05. That's the profit. All right. But the question wants the profit as a percentage of the cost price. So as a percentage, so we're gonna write down now percentage profit. So the percentage profit is going to be equal to percentage profit is equal to the profit divided by the cost price multiplied by 100. That's percentage profit. Percentage profit is profit divided by the cost price multiplied by 100. That's how we find percentage profit. All right. So let's go ahead and work that out. So the percentage profit is going to be equal to the profit, which is 265.05. And then we divide it by the cost price, which is 1,064, and we multiply that by 100. That will give us the percentage profit. Multiplied by 100. And what is that going to be equal to? That's going to be equal to, let's see what we get. 265.05 divided by 1,064 multiplied by 100. That's 24.9% profit. 24.9% profit. So he made a lot of profit from selling his computer, which is crazy because when you think about it, once you buy a computer, depending on how long he had it for, the value of the computer should depreciate, but he's selling it at a higher bargain. So Paul is a smart man. Part C. Part C says orange juice is sold in cartons of 3 different sizes. You have 350 millimeter, sell for $4.25, 450 millimeter, sell for $5.35, and you have 500 milliliter, sell for $5.80. Which size orange juice is most cost-effective buy? Now, whichever one is most cost-effective, I want to see which of these is giving me the most milliliter for $1? Which one gives me the most amount of milliliter for $1? All right, so if you look at 350 millimeter divided by the cost price of 4.2, what is that equal to? 350 divided by 4.2. When you work that out, we're getting 350 divided by 4.2. That's giving me 83 millimeter. This is 83.3 milliliter per dollar. Remember, it's milliliter divided by a dollar. So this is 83 milliliter per dollar. What that means is for every dollar I spend, I'm getting 83 millimeter. All right. For every dollar I spend, I get 83 milliliter of juice. So let's check out how much for $1 for the second one. So if I take 450 and divide it by, that's 5.35, 450 milliliter divided by 5.35, what I'm going to get is, I'm getting 84.11. So this one is a better buy because I'm getting 84.11 milliliter per dollar. All right, so I'm getting like 1 millimeter more drink, all right, per dollar. All right, and then you have 500 milliliter for 580. So let's see, 500 milliliter divided by 5.8. When I work that out, how many millimeters that's going to be? I hope this one's the better buy. 500 divided by 5.8. This is 86 millimeter, 86 milliliter. And so therefore this one is the best buy because you get 86 milliliter per dollar. All right, and so the 500 millimeter carton is the best buy. All right, so let's tell them now that the 500 milliliter carton is the best buy since you get 86 milliliter for every dollar. All right, and so this is the best one. You get the most amount of milliliter for your money, for your dollar. All right, so this is the best one. Nice and easy, soft. And that completes question 1. We now go to question 2. And question 2 is all about factorization. So you have to get used to factorization for question 2. Let's indulge in it now. Question 2 says factorize completely 4a squared minus 16. Now 4a squared minus 16, first thing, this can be written as a difference of 2 squared. This is really 2a all squared. And 16 can be written as 4 squared. All right, now we can then use difference of 2 squared to say a squared minus b squared is a minus b times a plus b. So this is just 2a minus 4 times 2a plus 4. This is what we're getting, 2a minus 4 times 2a plus 4. All right. Now it said factorize completely, so we're not finished. Now you have 2a right here, so you have 2a and you have 4a, so you can factor out a 2 from right here to get 2 times a minus 2 multiplied by, you can factor out a 2 from this side to get 2 times a plus 2. All right. Now 2 times 2 is 4. So all of this, let's put the final answer in black up here, can be written as 2 times 2 is 4. So you get 4 multiplied by a minus 2 times a plus 2. And that's the final answer. 4 times a minus 2 times a plus 2. Nice. That's one way of doing it. Now, you didn't have to do it that way. You could have done it this way as well. You could have noticed that 4 is the highest common factor between these two, and you factorize out 4 first. So you have 4 times, that would leave you back with a squared minus 4. And then you could realize that, but 4 can be written as 2 squared. So because 4 can be written as 2 squared, we really have a squared. We really have a squared minus 2 squared. And then you could apply the difference of 2 squared to this question. All right, so you could have done it this way as well. All right, so any step you take is perfectly fine as long as you get to the correct solution. That's the beauty of mathematics. There's no standard, well, there are standard approaches, but you can decipher which method you want to use to factorize, simplify, and solve equations. Now this one has 3y squared plus 2y minus 8. Factorize this expression. To factorize this expression, so we're gonna multiply the product of the y squared times the constant. We'll call it a times c. When you multiply that, you get negative 24. So the question we're gonna ask ourselves is which two numbers we times them we get negative 24, but when we add them, we get 2. The only two numbers I'm thinking of, when you times them to get negative 24, but add them to get 2 is 6 and minus 4. Those are the two numbers. And so what that means is we're going to rewrite 2y as 3y squared. And then we're going to put plus 6y minus 4y. Plus 6y minus 4y. Now again, we just have to recall right here that this plus 2y right here, so is the same as 6y minus 4y. 6y minus 4y is 2y. So all we did was split the middle term, minus 8. Now we have 4 terms and we can factorize normally. Now the highest common factor between the first two is 3y. And so we have 3y in bracket. Factor out 3y leaves us with y plus factoring out 3y from 6y leaves us with 2. Then minus 4y minus 8, we're going to factor out negative 4. Factoring out negative 4, we're left back with y plus 2. All right, so what does that mean? The result is then going to be 3y minus 4 times y plus 2. That's nice and easy, soft. Nice and easy, soft. All right, now this is now to solve the equation. Now it has 2x plus y equal 3 and 5x minus 2y equal 12. There are many ways to solve the equation. You can use substitution method or elimination method. For this question, we're going to use elimination method. If we're to multiply the first equation by 2, right, what you're going to get now is the first equation going to become 2x plus 2 times 2 is 4 rather, so it becomes 4x. And you multiply 2y, 2 times y to get 2y, and you multiply 2 times 3 to get 6. So you get 4x plus 2y is equal to 6. Then the second equation is still 5x minus 2y. That is equal to 12. So what you're going to do then is you're going to add these two equations. Add them. You're going to add them. When you add these two equations, the 4x plus the 5x give you 9x. When you add the 2y plus the minus 2y, those cancel. And then the 6 plus the 12 give you 18. So you get 9x equal 18. You then divide through by 9 to get that x is 2. All right. Now that you get that x is 2, you're going to substitute x being 2 into any one of these equations. So let's do it in the first one. If x is 2, 2 times x becomes 4 plus y is equal to 3. Now if 4 plus y equal to 3, then clearly y must equal negative 1. And so what's the solution? X equals 2 or y equal negative 1? That's the solution. X equals 2 and y is negative 1. Nice and easy. 5 giveaway marks. Soft. All right. Now part C. Part C says the table below shows corresponding values of the variables x and y, where y varies directly as x. Calculate the values of t and u. Now, this is a direct variation question. Let's see. When x is 6, y is 3. All right. When x is 6, y is 3. Now, there are many ways you can do this question. It's a direct variation question. All right. And generally what they tell us is that direct variation y is equal to k times x. All right. Or x is equal to k times y. All right. And then you find your unknowns. Now, I'm going to do it the two-way for us. Now, first thing you can say is x maps to a y value. So the x value of 6 maps to a y value of 3. And so x value of 10 is going to map to a y value of, we don't know, that's u. Now doing cross multiplication, it tells us then that 6u is equal to 10 times 3, which is 30. And if 6u is equal to 30, then u must equal 5. So this is using simple proportion rule. All right. The alternate method of doing this is you could have said that y is equal to k times x, since they're directly proportional to each other. If y is equal to k times x, when y is 3, then it's equal to 6 times x, because, well, x is 6, so it's 6 times k. So 3 is equal to 6k, and so k equal a half. K equal a half. All right. Now that we know that k is equal to a half, y is equal to kx, so y is really a half x. So y is a half x. Now if y is a half x, when x equal 10, y equal u. So plug in y as u now, and so we're getting u is equal to a half. U is equal to 0.5 times that x value of 10. A half of 10 is 5. A half of 10 is 5. And so that will give us u. Nice and easy. Soft. All right. Now, the next part now. Now it says when x is t, y is 9. Again, you can choose any one of these ways you want to find out. I really like to stick to simple proportion method. So using simple proportion method, we could say that when x is 10, it maps to a y value of 5. And so when x is this t value now, t, y is 9. So using simple proportion, 9 times 10 is 90, and 90 is going to equal to 5 times t. 90 is 5 times t. If 90 is 5 times t, what is t? T must be 90 divided by 5, and so t equal 18. So this will tell us that t is 18. That's using simple proportion method. Now, if you're going to use direct variation now, again, you just go back to the formula. Y is k times x. Y is equal to k times x, and k is a half. So y is equal to a half x. And so all you need to do now, you need to find what is x, because now y is 9, and 9 is equal to a half. The x value, and the x value at this point is t. You then multiply both sides by 2 to get 18 is equal to t. Any method you choose to use is fine with me. And that takes care of question 2. Nice and easy, soft. Question 3, which is sets. It says now the Venn diagram below shows the number of students who study history and French in a class of 30 students. Write an expression in terms of x in its simplest form for the number of students in the class. Well, first and foremost, it tells us that in the class, there are 30 students. So the universal set is 30 up here. All right, the Venn diagram shows class of 30. So now let's go ahead and write an expression for the total number of students. The total number of students is equal to students that do history only, students that do history only, students that do history only is 18 minus x, plus the students that do both history and French. I did both history and French. Yes, I did. French was wonderful. Plus 14 minus x plus 5, that's equal to 30. All right, so 18 minus x plus 14 minus x plus 5 equal 30. All right, very good. Très bien, as they would say in French. Très bien. All right, so this would be the expression to represent the total number of students in the class. Okay, it says state which of the following relations are true. It said H union F equal union. Now H union F is not the whole universal set, so this is not true. This is definitely false. Why is it false? Because there are 5 students who don't do history or French, so that's false. Now the second one, it says H intersect F prime is a null set. Now F prime or F complement is everything outside. Let me shade what is F complement. F complement, let me shade it in green. F complement is everything outside of F. So all of this that I'm shading would represent F prime or F complement. All of that represents F complement. Now F complement intersect H is H. And so being a null set is also false. This is false. This is definitely false. Nice and easy, soft. Now this part of the question says determine the number of students who study both history and French. So this is where we're going to have to use the equation up here. Remember we said that 18 minus x plus 14 minus x plus 5 is 30. What does that tell us then? That tells us that 18 plus 14 is 32 plus 5 is 37. Then minus x plus x, those cancel, minus x equal 30. So if 37 minus x equal 30, then x must equal 7. All right, x must be 7. All right, so if x is 7, what does that mean? That means that the intersection is 7, and that means that the number of students that do both history and French is 7. 7 students do both history and French. All right. Part B. Again, it's a geometric construction, not necessarily my cup of tea, but I always show a schematic of what should be there. PQ is 5 centimeters, so you draw some line PQ, and that should be 5 centimeters. You use your ruler, of course, and make sure it's straight so that this PQ is 5 centimeters. Then it tells us that PQR, the angle at Q, is 60 degrees. The angle at Q is 60 degrees. When you swing your arcs, that needs to be 60 degrees. All right, the angle at Q is 60 degrees. So what that means is this angle is 60 degrees. Let's continue to just extend this line. This angle needs to be 60 degrees. Then what do you do next? Then the next thing you do now, it says angle QPR, meaning the angle at P needs to be 90. All right, so that means when you swing up your arcs, right, this needs to be 90. All right, so that needs to be 90. Of course, this is not accurately drawn, but this is just a schematic of what you should have. And this angle should be 90. All right. Nice, 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 nice and easy. All right. Nice and easy, soft. Okay. Now it says now, measure and state the length of PR. If we label R, this point is R. All right. Now, you're going to need to just use your ruler and measure this length to get what is PR. But I can give you a rough estimate of what PR will be. The answer that you should be getting should fall between a particular range, because look at this. You have the adjacent, and then you can find the hypotenuse, because cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. So if cos theta is adjacent over the hypotenuse, what we're saying is cos of 60 is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And so then you can find PQ, and so PQ is supposedly going to be, you interchange that, and so PQ should be 5 over cos 60, which is 10. So PQ should be 10. All right, if PQ is 10, what should be PR? PR should be 10 squared minus 5 squared square rooted. So you should be getting, this should be the answer, 8.66 centimeters. So really and truly, you should get a length somewhere between 8 to 9. Based on how accurate your diagram is, you should get an answer between 8 to 9 centimeters. Then you want angle PRQ. Angle PRQ, when you measure it, should be 30 degrees. Clearly. Angles in a triangle sum to 180. All right. But make sure you use your ruler, your compasses, and all of that stuff. All right. Now let's look at question 4. Question 4 says, The diagram below, not drawn to scale, shows a silver box with no lid. The sides and the bottom of the box are 1.5 centimeters thick. All right, so it have some thickness which is 1.5 centimeters thick. Calculate the volume of the external measurement. So the volume of the external measurement is equal to the area of the cross section times the height. Now the area of the cross section is going to be area of this portion right here, 20 times 15 times 30. That's the volume, 20 times 15 times 30. That will give us the volume of the external measurement. So that becomes 20 times 15 times 30. That's 9,000. So we're getting 9,000 centimeters cube is the volume. 9,000 cm cube. Now that the volume is 9,000 cm cube, let's see what else they want to know. It says compute or complete each of the following. The internal length of the box is 30 minus 2 times 1.5. The internal length, which is very true. You have to subtract the internal length. You're going to have to subtract this 1.5 here. You're going to have to subtract this 1.5 here. It's the same way for the internal width. You're going to have to subtract this 1.5 over here and this 1.5. And for the internal depth, you're going to have to subtract this 1.5 and this 1.5. All right? We're going to have to do that. So the internal width is going to be 30 minus 2 times 50, which is 27. And your answers of course in centimeter. Then you want the internal width. This is width. This 20 centimeters. That's width. All right. How wide the box is. And so the width is going to be 20 minus 2 times 1.5, which is 3. So 20 minus 2 times 1.5 is 17 centimeters. That's the width. They want the internal depth. The internal depth, this is the depth. All right, this is the depth. And so we're going to have to subtract the 1.5 and the 1.5. All right, subtracting the 1.5 twice, we have 15 minus 2 times 1.5, which is 12 centimeters. Nice. Now it says calculate the internal volume. Now the internal volume is going to be the same length times width times height, or length times width times depth, whatever you want to say. So it's now the 27 times the 17 times the 12. And that's internal volume. So the internal volume is 27 times 17 times 12. What is that going to give us? 27 times 17 times 12. That's 5,508 cm cube. That's the internal volume. All right, that's the internal volume of this right here. All right, nice and easy. Now it says now the box is made up of silver, which has a mass of 10.5 grams. Calculate the mass of the silver box, giving your answer in kilogram. Calculate the mass. Calculate the box made of silver, which has a mass 10.5 grams for each cm cube. Calculate the mass of the silver box, giving your answer in kilogram. So go back around here. Remember, this shows a silver box with no lid. This is the volume of the silver box. The volume of the silver box is 9,000 cm cube. All right, volume of the silver box is 9,000 cm cube. Now calculating the mass of the silver box, they give us some pretty cool information. They told us that 10.5 gram is for each cm cube. 10.5 gram is for 1 cm cube. All right. But of course, we know that the volume of the box is 9,000 cm cube. This is the volume of the box, 9,000 cm cube. All right. And so this is going to go to some mass of x. Using simple proportion, we're getting that x is equal to 9,000 times 10.5 divided by 1. That's what we're getting. And so the mass of the box is going to be 9,000 times 10.5, which is going to give us, that's 94,500 grams. That's the mass of the box, 94,500 grams. But of course, they want the answer in kilogram, in kg. So we have to divide it by 1,000. 1,000 grams make 1 kilogram. And so it's 94,500 divided by 1,000, which is 94.5 kilogram. Now this is indeed a heavy box. So it's 94.5 kilogram. This is a heavy box. My weight, I am 74 kilograms. So for a box to be 94.5 kilogram, that's a heavy box. But of course, it's made up of silver. So that's a good understanding of why the box is heavy, don't it? Makes sense. If the box is made up of silver, it's supposed to be heavy. I can tell you that this is a little over 200 pounds. So this is a heavy box. Heavy box. Okay. Question 5. Question 5 says the diagram below shows two straight lines, J, K, and another straight line, JL, intersecting a pair of parallel lines, EF and GH. It says now, oh, it don't even give us no other information, it's just showing us the graph. So angle LJK is W. Then it tells us this angle is Y. This angle is 100. This angle is X. This angle is 128. Okay, no problem. Let's go ahead and decipher what we need to do now. Now, of course, it goes further and asks us for the value of X. Now, to find the value of X, this is angles on a straight line. Angles on a straight line sum to 180. So since angles on a straight line sum to 180, X must be 180 minus 128. That is X. 180 minus 128. And so what is X? When I subtract those, I believe I'm getting 52 degrees. So X is 52 degrees. All right, and it said stating your reason. Angles on a straight line is 180. Angles on a straight line equal 180. Just giving them the reason. Now angle Y. Now to find the angle Y, let's see how we're gonna find the angle Y. Now first thing I observe is that if I were to call this point O, if I were to call this point O and call this point M, then what I'm seeing is triangle JOM is similar to triangle JG, well not G. I have to give these 2 points some reference as well. Let me call this point N and this point P. Now what I'm saying is triangle JOM is similar to triangle JNP. And so if they're similar, then this angle is also x. So this angle is 52, and so angle y is also 128. So angle y is equal to 128. All right. Another reason to look at it is some person use angles in alternate segments are equal, and so y is 128. Some people use that, all right? But the logics that I was using was similar triangles, all right? So these angles have to be equal, all right? So whichever reason you feel to give them, you can give them that. You can tell them that angles in alternate segments are equal. This is a typical reason that most persons will give. But if you want to show them that it's sharp, you label J, O, and M, and you can tell them that triangle JOM, you can tell them that triangle JOM is similar to, triangle JOM is similar to triangle JNP. These are similar triangles. Similar triangles have equal corresponding angles. So this W here is equal to this W here. These are the same. Put those in red. What that means is this angle here in green is equal to this angle here in green. And this angle here in black is equal to this angle here in black, because they're similar triangles. So you could use similar triangles to decipher that this angle in the green is 52, and then angles on a straight line is 180, and so y is 128. That's another way to decipher that. Now we want next angle W. Angles in a triangle sum to 180, and so we can find W easily. So we can say that, well, first and foremost, if this is 100, then this angle right here, so is 80 degrees. That angle right there, so is 80 degrees. All right. Now, if that angle right there, so is 80 degrees, angles in a triangle is 180. And so we're getting 80 plus 52 plus W is 180. 80 plus W plus 52 is equal to 180. So now we're able to find W. All right, so now we can find W. So W is equal to 180 minus 52 plus 80. That's W. W is equal to 180 minus 52 plus 80. So it's equal to 180 minus 52 plus 80 is 132. And so 180 minus 132, that's 48. So W is 48 degrees. All right, and the reason angles in a triangle sum to 180. Sum to 180 degrees. So there you have it, angles in a triangle sum to 180, and that takes care of this question. Nice and easy, soft. Part B. Part B gives the diagram shows triangles RST and its image R prime, S prime, T prime after a transformation. It says describe fully the transformation which maps RST onto R prime, S prime, T prime. Let's go ahead and take up this easy question. As you can see, going from S to S prime, look, we go 2 units to the right, we go 2 units to the right, we're going 2 units to the right, and then we go 1, 2, 4 units down. And we're going 4 units down. So that's -4. All right. And so this is just a translation. So from R, we're going to go 1, 2 units to the right, then 1, 2, 3, 4 units down. All right. So this is just a translation. All right. So this is just a translation of. To describe fully the transformation which map RST to R prime, S prime, T prime, they are mapped by a translation of T, where T, the translation T is 2, -4. All right. Now it says triangle RST is reflected in the line x equals 6. On the graph above, draw the triangle R double prime, S double prime, T double prime, the image of triangle RST after the reflection. So let's do that. They're reflected in the line x equals 6. So this is the line x equals 6. This is the line x equals 6. Here it is. This is when x is 6. So this is the line x equals 6. All right. And then you're going to reflect. Let me get rid of these, the translation now. Getting rid of those. Now, reflecting it in a line x equals 6 is s is going to be 1 unit away from the mirror line. So 1 unit. So this is s double prime. R is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the mirror line. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be R double prime. And then T, which is right here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 from the mirror line, will be 1, 2, 3, 4 from the mirror line. And so this will be T double prime. You can then feel free to connect them. And that's your triangle. S double prime, R double prime, T double prime. Then it says state the coordinates of R double prime. The coordinates of R double prime is, that looks like x is 10 and y is 3. So 10, 3. So R double prime is 10, 3. Nice and easy, soft. Now question 6. Question 6 says the diagram below shows the graph of the straight line x plus y equal to 3. It says determine the equation of the line which is parallel to the line x plus 3 and passes through the origin. So you want a line that looks like this, but instead of passing through 3, pass through the origin. So the parallel line will look something like this. This will be the parallel line, all right? So this is a line that's parallel to this line, but pass through the origin, all right? And so they want the equation of this line, all right? If the lines are parallel, they have similar gradient, or they have same gradient. So we're gonna find the equation of this line. Let's call this line L, parallel line L. Now, if you were to put this in standard form, this line is really y equal to 3 minus x, or some would say y is really minus x plus 3. Y is equal to minus x plus 3. And so the gradient, so it is such that the gradient is negative 1. So if the gradient is negative 1, then the equation of the parallel line L is going to be y is equal to negative 1 times x plus your constant c. But c is where the y-axis intercept, but it really passed through 0. So it's minus 1x plus 0. So the equation of the parallel line is y is equal to minus x. All right, that's the equation of the line parallel to it. Or some people write that x plus y equals 0. You could write it that way as well. If you want the equation of your line pretty, write it this way. You can go ahead and write it pretty by saying x plus y equals 0. Now it says find the equation of the line perpendicular to x plus y and passes through the midpoint of AB. Where's A and where's B? So here is A and here is B. Here is A and here is B. The midpoint of AB is going to be somewhere here. How do we find midpoint of a line? Midpoint of a line, all right, so the midpoint I use big M to represent midpoint. The midpoint of AB is going to be equal to x1 plus x2. So it's x1, which is 0, plus 3, which is 3. So the midpoint of AB is x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1. y1 is 3, and y2 is 0. So it's 3 over 2, 3 over 2. So the midpoint of AB is 1.5, 1.5. If I'm to put that on the graph, this is 2, and 1.5 would be here, and so this is 1.5. This is 1.5. All right. And they want the equation of the perpendicular bisector passing through AB. The perpendicular bisector passing through AB will look like this. It must be perpendicular That's how the perpendicular bisector will look. All right, the perpendicular bisector, this and this, they have a negative reciprocal gradient. All right, so therefore it looks like the perpendicular bisector, let's call that line B. The gradient of the perpendicular bisector is going to be equal to -1 over -1. All right. How do I know that the gradient of the perpendicular bisector is equal to -1 over the gradient is equal to -1 over the gradient of the line? The gradient of the line was -1, and so it's going to be -1 over -1. -1 over -1 is 1. All right. So the gradient of the perpendicular bisector is 1. And so clearly from the graph, it will be y is equal to x. That's the equation of this line. But just to show it, we're going to get that the equation of the line is y is equal to gradient of the bisector times x plus c. But this line passes through the midpoint. The midpoint is 1.5. And so 1.5 is equal to 1 times x. X is also 1.5 plus c. Now clearly c equals 0. This is telling us that c equals 0. And so the equation of the perpendicular bisector is y is equal to gradient of the bisector, which is 1 times x. So y is equal to x. That's the equation of the bisector. Soft. Question 6 part B. Question 6 part B says the function y equal x squared. Let's go up. The function y equal x squared minus 2x minus 3 is defined for the domain where x is between -2 and 4. The table below shows the corresponding values of y for 5 selected values of x. And so it goes further to say, complete the table and calculate and insert the missing values of y. So when x is 1, you put 1 in here, and that will give you y. So y is equal to 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 3. That's -4. That's -4. All right? This is -4. And then when x is 3, now you put 3 in here. So you get 3 squared minus 2 times 3 minus 3. And you're going to get 0. So you get 0 right here. So complete the table. Nice and easy. So now that we complete the table, that's part I. It says on the same axis, draw the graph of x squared minus 2x minus 3. So look at page 16. All right, so the graph has been omitted. And so what we're required to do is we're required to draw this graph being x squared minus 2x minus 4, x squared minus 2x minus 3, and let's go ahead and plot that graph. So this is known as graph. It plots graph for us. So we're going to go to function, insert function, and the function that we're drawing is x squared minus 2x minus 3. And we're going for the domain. And the domain, as we saw, is the domain is from -2 to 4. That's what we're doing. The domain is from -2 to 4. We want to have endpoints, so let the endpoints be these red dots. We're going to change the color to it. Let's keep it at true blue. So that's the graph. This is the graph. All right. From -2 to 4, this is the graph. This is the graph of y equal to x squared minus 2x. So let's look at what the question asks now. So as it says now, so that's a graph plotted. All right, and one thing I want to point out is look at the table and look at the graph. When x is -2, y is 5, yes. When x is -1, y is 0. When x is 0, y is -3. When x is 1, y is -4. When x is 2, y is -3. When x is 3, y is 0. When x is 4, y is 5. All right, it's just like the table that we have right here. Good. Now it says, using the information from your graph, complete the following. The minimum value of the function occurs when the minimum value means the lowest value of y on the graph. The lowest value of y on the graph is -4, and it occurs when x is 1. So right here, the minimum value occurs when x is 1. Then it says the value of x for which x squared minus 2x minus 3 is equal to -x plus 3. So it wants us now, when is the graph equal to -x plus 3? So what you are required to do is draw the line -x plus 3 on your graph. So let's draw the line negative x plus 3. We're going to insert the function where y is negative x plus 3. And let's change the color to red. That's the line of y equal negative x plus 3. Notice that they intersect at 2 points. They intersect when x is negative 2 and when x is 3. So those are the two answers, when x is negative 2 and when x is 3. So they intersect when x is negative 2 and when x is 3. All right, they said using the graph, so yes, you shouldn't be solving the equation. If they say solving the equation, you're going to lose a mark. Even if you get the answer correctly, you're supposed to use the graph. All right, and that's for that. Nice and easy, soft. Let's look at question 7 now. Question 7 gives us raw data, and it says 20 bags of sugar were weighed. The weighs were to the nearest kilogram. All right, and why would somebody be buying 43 kilograms of sugar? I have no idea. This is not healthy. All right, 3 kilograms of sugar, that should last you about 2 weeks to a month. That's not bad. 5 is not bad, but anything over 20 is crazy. Now, as you can see, complete the frequency table for the following. How many bags are between 1 to 10 kilograms? So I'm going to put that in green. This is there. This is there. That's 2. This is there. So that's 3. So the tally is 1, 2, 3. 3. Then we're going to look how many is between 11 and 20. Let's put that in black. 11 and 20. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. Then we know how many are between 21 to 30. Let's do that in red. 1, 21 to 30, 2, 30 is just there. 3, 4. I'm getting 4. Let's check again. Yep, we're getting 4. So there are 4 bags between 21 and 30. Going back to the same color green, we're going to circle now. 31 to 40, we're going to circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can clearly see, I missed 23. 23 should be in black. And so this should actually be 5. Well, 23 should be in red. Sorry, 23 in red. So this should actually be 5. That should actually be 5. Nice. Now 41 to 50. How many are there? Let's circle in red. 1, 2. Have I missed any more? As you can see, I missed out 39. And that's why I like to do it like this. Anyone that I missed, I can always come back to. So I missed one that I was circling in green. This one, this should be 6. Put one more there, and this should be 6. So now I have everything. Let's add them. 11, 3, 7, 12, 18, 20. So I have everything because the number of bags down here is 20. So I don't miss any now. So this is it, completed. The raw data now grouped. They're now group data. Now it says for the class interval 21 to 30, state the upper class boundary. The upper class boundary is 30.5. 30.5 is the upper class boundary. Then they need a class width. 21 minus 30. Remember, the class width is the upper class boundary of 30.5 minus the lower class boundary, which is 20.5. And so the class width is 10. All right. The next point is the midpoint. The midpoint is equal to a half the upper class boundary of 30.5 plus the lower class boundary of 20.5. All right, so 30.5 plus 20.5 divided by 2 or times a half, that's 25.5. So that's the class midpoint, 25.5. All right. So that's the class midpoint, 25.5. My guessing is they're going to ask some question with class midpoint. And so my assumption is that we are going to indeed need a table right here with the midpoints. We're going to need a table right here with the midpoints because I'm guessing we're going to plot midpoint against frequency. I call this X for midpoint. Let me call it XM for midpoint. All right. I'm just going to put a table with the midpoints of each. If this is 25.5 and the class widths are 10, then I know above it is 15.5 and above it is 5.5. And then going down, it's going to be 35.5. And then going down one last time will be 45.5. Nice and easy, soft. Now it says on the grid on the next page, it wants us to draw a histogram representing the data. All right, so histogram, we know we'll plot midpoint against frequency. All right, so this is going to go on the y-axis and this is going to go on the x-axis. All right. So let's go ahead and plot that now. So I'm going to open up graph for us to plot this. GSP5. All right, so the program for the graph is now available. Here it is. We're now going to plot the data that they want using this graph. All right, so now here's what we have. We can always change the scale if we want, which we're going to have to do. We need to change the scale. This is how you change scale, but let's decipher how we need to change the scale first. All right, so we need, on the x-axis, we need 2 centimeters to represent 10 kilograms. So we need 2 centimeters to be 10. So let's go ahead and do that. We need 2 centimeters. So here it is, 2 centimeters is 10. 2 centimeters is 10 kilogram. All right. All we need to do, 2 centimeters is 10. So we're good. We are fine. Let's just focus on this side of the graph now. All right. So now, of course, we're going to plot the midpoints. The midpoints is 5.5, and that goes to 3. All right, 5.5 to 3. So let's do that, 5.5 to 3. So if we're plotting 5.5 to 3, all right, 5.5 is going to be, let me show you where 5.5 is. On the x, this is 5, so 5.5 is here. That's 5.5. Now we need it to go up to 3. Just put in a point, 5.5 goes here. And so next is 5.5. Now, of course, we're going to draw going up to 3. This is when x is 3. And we're going to go across to 10.5. This looks like 10.5. This is 3. This has a frequency of 3. This has a frequency of 3. All right. Let's look at the next one now. The next one is 4 to 15.5. 4 to 15.5. All right. So let's draw going up 4. 4 is going to be now up here. This one is 4. Go across to 20.5. And we go down. This is 4. Nice and easy. Soft. All right. And then we need 5 to 25.5. 5 to 25.5. All right. Then this is 5. 5 to, this is 5. All right. And then we need to plot 6 against 35.5. Need to go up by one more again. 6 is going to be right here. We'll go across 6 to, that's the 40.5 right there. And this is 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then it go all the way down back to 2. The last one was 2. Let's check it. Yes, 2 to 45.5. So let's do that last one now. 2. So this is when x is 2. So go all the way down in line with it. This is 2. That's it. This is the histogram now. This is the histogram. Now you may say, well, you want the scale to be wider. Let me try and zoom in the Y scale. Right, I'm not sure how to zoom in this scale. Yeah, I'm not sure, but this is what we have. This is our histogram. Nice and easy. And for anybody that wants to plot these graphs, this is known as the geometer sketchpad. It's very nice. All right, so that's that. Nice and easy, soft. Now question 8. Question 8, it says now, the diagram below shows the first 3 figures in a sequence. Each figure is made up of knots and strings. Each knot connects exactly 3 strings. All right, figure 1, figure 2, figure 3. Each knot has 3 strings, 1, 2, 3. This knot have 3 strings, this knot have 3 strings. Draw figure 4. These can be tricky sometimes, but to draw figure 4, ideally what I wanted you to do is start with a string and then start with the knot and draw a 3 string. So this would be figure 1. And notice that you put on 2 more dots and then you connect 2 more here. 1, 2. All right. So again, for figure 3, what they do is put on 2 more dots and then connect 1, 2, 1, 2. And here you do the same. There you go 1, 2. And here you do the same, and you go 1, 2. This would be figure 3. So for figure 4, I'm going to put it in black. You put on black here, so then you go 1, 2. And you put on 1 more here, and you go 1, 2. You're going to do the same here. Then you go 1, 2. Then you're going to do the same here. Then you go 1, 2. Then you do the same here. And you go 1, 2. Then you do the same here again and go 1, 2. Then you do the same here and you go 1, 2. Then you do the same here again and you go 1, 2. And this would be figure 4. Nice. Now the question then goes further to say complete the table. Now as you can see, the number of knots is going to be 2. Then you go 4. My speculation is next it's going 8. Because it got 2 here, so then 4. And this is 8. And so if this is 8 plus the 7, that's 15. You add 2 to it, you add 4 to it, you add 8 to it. So let's go here now. You add 4 to it, you add 8 to it, so you must add 16 to it. So this is 31. Nice, it must be 31. Now, if you don't believe these answers, you can always check it on your graph. The knots is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's indeed 15 knots. Number of strings, you can check it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So it's indeed 31. So this is right. So now let's derive a formula for n so we can find any one of them. All right. Now, as we notice is that the number of knots keep on increase. Let's say, as we can see right here, the number of knots is what? Increase by 2, then 4, then 8. All right. So next is going to increase by 16 to give us 31. What I'm saying is it follows a sequence. The number of knots is following a sequence. 1, 3, 7, 15. Right? We need to identify the sequence. Now, this sequence, as we can see, It's not one of your typical sequences where it's just adding on a constant to it, all right? It's not one of those sequences. So let's see how we can relate this sequence. It's the first term plus 2. The first term, 1. Oh, there we go. It's 2 times the first one plus 1. 2 times the second one plus 1. 2 times this one plus 1. So this sequence is 2n plus 1 is equal to n plus 1. N plus 1. What do I mean by that? When n is 1 right here, you get 2 plus 1 to give you 3. All right, now this is for the first term. N is for the first term. For the second term, when n is 2, 2 times 3. When n is 2, the second term is 2 times 3. This n look like a lower script, so let me write it better. 2n plus 1. When you put right here now, when this number is 3, you get 2 times 3 plus 1, which is 7. All right. So when n is 7, 2 times 7 plus 1 is 15. So what am I saying? I'm saying when n is 10, it's going to be so if we were to continue, look at this. Continuing, it's best when you just continue this way. The next one would have been 15 plus 16, that's 31. All right, that's what I'm saying. The fifth one would have been 31. All right, then the next one is going to be, you add 16, so next you add 32 to get 63. All right, after you add 32, you add 64 to get 127. All right, so this is first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, seventh one. The eighth one, you would have to add 128. 128 to this is 255. Then the ninth one, you're gonna have to add, if you add 120, you have to add 256 to this to get 511. And then you add 512 to this to get 1023. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So when n is 10, the number of knots is going to be 1023. All right, clearly. Now the next one is, this is for the number of knots. All right, number of knots. And then it's 10, we're going to have 1023. Okay, now I want you to identify something about the number of strings. The number of strings and the number of knots are clearly related. All right, look how they are related. Now, when n is 1, the first term is 3. So the number of strings start from here. So what am I saying? I'm saying therefore that we need to add 1024 to this to get 2047. And so when the number of knots is 1023, then the number of strings is going to be 2047. Okay. Now this one should make everything clear. It says now, when the number of strings is 255, when the number of string is 255, then the number before it is going to be the number of knots. The number of knots is 127. All right, number of knots is 127. How do I know that? Look at this. When knots is 1, this is number of strings 3. When number of strings is 7, number of knots is 3. When number of string is 15, number of knots is 7. So when number of strings is 255, the knots is 127. And what's the figure? The figure is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the seventh figure. All right, and that's how we complete this table. Nice and easy. Soft, capital T. And now we go to section 2. Section 2, in these days, 2016, what, some 4 or 5 years ago, we would have to, of course, do 2 questions of them, but now you have to do everything. So now question 9, it gives us a function. It says the function f of x and g of x are defined as follows. F of x is 2x minus 9, g of x is x squared plus 1. Write an expression for f inverse of x. To find f inverse of x, generally we are taught that you interchange f of x with x and interchange x with y. So you're saying that x is equal to 2y minus 7. And then you make back y the subject. So add 7 to both sides to get now x plus 7 is equal to 2y. And then you divide both sides by 2 to get y. You divide both sides by 2, you get y is equal to x plus 7 over 2. And so this is f inverse of x. So we can write that f inverse of x is equal to x plus 7 over 2. That's typically how we do this question. X plus 7 over 2. Now I want g inverse of x. To find g inverse of x, we have g of x is x squared plus 1. So how are we going to find g inverse? To find g inverse is pretty simple. Again, we're going to interchange x and y to say that x is going to be equal to y squared plus 1. X is y squared plus 1. You then subtract 1 from both sides to get that y squared is equal to x minus 1. You then square root both sides to say that y is equal to the square root of x minus 1. All right, y is equal to the square root of x minus 1. This y is then g inverse of x. So this is very easy question, nothing major to it, nice and easy. The next part is they're asking us to find fg of x. How do we find fg of x? Fg of x means we put g of x into f. Fg of x means we put g of x into f. Put g of x into f. So let's do that. Put g of x into f. Putting g of x into f, we're going to get it's 2 times g of x. And what is g of x? X squared plus 1. So it's 2 times x squared plus 1 minus 7. All right, because fg of x, you replace x with g of x. So it's 2 times x squared plus 1 minus 7. If you want to simplify it, what you're going to get is 2x squared minus 5. Because 2 times 1 is 2 minus 7. That's 2 minus 7 is minus 5. So this is, of course, fg of x. No issues at all. Nice. Now, this question goes further to ask us to find an expression for fg inverse of x. So find the inverse of this composite function here. So fg of x is 2x squared minus 5. We're going to call fg of x y. We're going to call fg of x y. So if we call fg of x y, we have y is equal to 2x squared minus 5. Y is equal to 2x squared minus 5. To find inverse, we interchange x and y. So we're gonna have x is equal to 2y squared minus 5. All right. Now we're required to make y back the subject, so we'll bring over 5 and then divide by 2. Clearly what we're going to see is y squared is equal to x plus 5 divided by 2. If y squared is x plus 5 divided by 2, we can square root both sides to get that y is equal to the square root of x plus 5 divided by 2. That is y. Y is the square root of x plus 5 divided by 2. And this y, as we know it is, fg inverse of x. That's what we have. Fg inverse of x is the square root of x plus 5 divided by 2. Nice and easy. Soft. Now show that fg inverse of 5 is g inverse f inverse of 5. Now this is a very easy statement to prove. All I want us to do is to show that the left-hand side is the same as the right-hand side. So I like to start by saying this. My left-hand side that they give me is fg inverse of 5. Fg inverse of 5. Now fg inverse of 5, we already know what is fg inverse. Fg inverse is x plus 5 over 2 square rooted. So fg inverse of 5 is going to be equal to the square root of, put x as 5 now, so it's going to be the square root of 5 plus 5 divided by 2. 5 plus 5 is 10, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. And so this just works out to be the square root of 5. All right, that's fg inverse of 5. Now let's check the right-hand side to make sure that all is well. The right-hand side is going to be g inverse f inverse of 5. This is the right-hand side. So what that means is you're going to put 5 into f inverse. Let's put 5 into f inverse first. So we'll put 5 into f inverse. This is f inverse, x plus 7 over 2. So 5 plus 7 is 12. 12 over 2 is 6. So what that means right here, is f inverse of 5 is 6. Since f inverse of 5 is 6, this works out to now be g inverse of 6. Because f inverse of 5 is 6. So we need to find g inverse of 6. This part is 6. F inverse of 5 is 6. So g inverse of 6. Let's check out what's g inverse of 6. G inverse is the square root of x minus 1. So we'll put x as 6 now. 6 minus 1. And we square root it. 6 minus 1 is 5. And so that's the square root of 5. So we're good. We're nice. We're straight. Easy. Soft. So g inverse of 6 is just going to be the square root of 5. And so we've shown it. Proven. Nice and easy. Soft. With a capital T. All right, now part B of the question is usually kinematics, or as most people would say, motion in a straight line. It says the distance time graph below shows the three-stage journey of a car traveling from town A to town C and back to town A. And it says that it starts from 6 o'clock in the morning and you reach back home 4 hours later at 10 o'clock. That's a lot of gas money. I'm just saying. You go all the way to town C and then go back home. That's a lot of gas money. But let's see, let's find out. All right, so from town A, stage 1, this is 1 hour. All right, then stage 2 is right here going to Tone C, which it looks like they get to Tone C just about right here. That looks like this looks like 8:30 in the morning. They get to Tone C 8:30, and then they chill for a bit, they're not moving. Anywhere you see a flat line, they're not moving. So it's not bad. So that means you travel from Tone A here, so you travel 40 kilometers. 40 kilometers, that's not bad. All right, then you rest for a little 30 minutes. You start travel again. You reach Town C. You talk to your people them. 8:30. You just go and chat for like 30 minutes. How they walk, go everything bless your man, but about all right. Little more, I'm gone again. And you drop off your goodies. All right, you take 15 minutes to do all that chatter, and then you drive back home again. All right, and you take another 1 hour 15 minutes to drive back home. So maybe this person is from the rural area. C is from rural and you're from town. I don't know. I'm just speculating. All right. So let's see what they ask us about this now. They say state the time of day at which the car arrived at Town C. So they arrived at Town C at this point in time at 8:30 a.m. So they arrived at Town C 8:30 a.m. Not bad. Arrived at 8:30 after traveling from 6 o'clock. That's 2 hours and 30 minutes. So that means, you know, if it takes so long to get to Town C, for go home, they might lick the gas, man, because it take like less than 2 hours. They really did hit the gas, but okay. It says calculate the total time in minutes for which the car stopped during the journey. As you can see, the car stopped right here. They just sat right here, so they wasn't covering any distance. The car stopped right here. So the car stopped for 30 minutes here, so as you can see, the car stopped for 30 minutes here, so, and the car also stopped for 15 minutes here, so. So the car stopped for 30 plus 15, which is 45 minutes. In total, the car stopped for 45 minutes. All right. It says determine the constant speed of the car during stage 2 of the journey. During stage 2. During stage 2 is right here. Determine the speed of the car during stage 2. This is stage 2. To find the speed, remember, speed is equal to total distance covered. So to go from 40 kilometers to 100 kilometers, that's a total distance of 60 kilometers traveled during stage 2. So that's 60 kilometers. And how long did it take to travel those 60 kilometers? From 8:30 to 9:30 is 1 hour. All right. So remember, speed is total distance over total time. That's speed. So speed is equal to distance covered over time. Speed is equal to, I usually let X represent distance and T represents time. Speed is equal to distance over time. The total distance covered was 60 kilometers in 1 hour. So it's 60 kilometers per hour. HR to the -1 because it's per hour. Then it says calculate the average speed of the car for the time during which it was moving. Calculate the average speed of the car for the time during which it was moving. Now, to find the average speed of the car for which it was moving throughout the whole journey, let's say if it was throughout the whole journey. Calculate the average speed of the car for the time during which it was moving. Okay, so you pretty much want the total distance it covered over the total time. Now, I want to point out that it covered 40 kilometers up to here. So in the first hour, it covered 40 kilometers. Then here so to here, so it covered another 60 kilometers. And then here so going back down, it covered 100 kilometers. All right. So I just want to point out that the average speed is going to be total distance. Average speed, let's call it V, is equal to the total distance traveled over the total time. That's average speed. Total distance, which is total X, over the total time you were driving. That will give us the average speed. The total distance covered is, as we clearly saw, it was 200 kilometers. 200 kilometers. That was the total distance covered. Let's find out the total time now. Total distance covered, as we can see, was 40 kilometers here. From here to here was 60. Then going back home, 100, 200. The total time was from here to here, you drive for 1 hour. From here to here, you drive for another hour. Let me see, 7:30 to 8:30. So that's 2 hours that they were driving for. And then from here to here, 8:45 to 10 is 1 hour and 15 minutes. 1 hour and 15 minutes. And then you have the 2 hours. So 1 hour driving here, 1 hour driving here. That's 2 hours plus another hour, 3 hours plus the 15 minutes. So that's 3 hours and 15 minutes to be driving in total. 3 hours and 15 minutes. Now 3 hours and 15 minutes is 3¼ hour. Remember, 1 hour is 45 minutes. So 3 hours and 15 minutes is 3¼ hours. So 200 divided by 3¼ that's going to be 61.5. This is 61.5 kilometers per hour. 61.5 kilometers per hour. That's the average speed. Kilometers per hour. That's not bad. Nice. That takes care of question 9. Soft. Let's go to question 10, 10, 10. We almost finished this paper. What is question 10 saying to us? Question 10 is saying the diagram below, not drawn to scale, shows a circle with center O. And it says EH and EF are tangents to the circle. FOG and JOH are straight lines. The measure of angle FEH is 44. Calculate, giving reason for your answers, the following. So the first one they want us to find is angle EHF. Angle EHF. Now, first thing, guys, is any two tangents drawn from the single external point E forms an isosceles triangle. And so what that means is this angle equal this angle. And if them are two angles equal, and this angle is 44, then the angle right here, so we found it. So angle EHF is equal to, let's write it down, angle EHF is 180 minus 44, and all of this is of course divided by 2. And so that works out to be 180 minus 44 divided by 2, which is 68 degrees. That's angle EHF. Angle EHF is 68 degrees. Angle EHF is 68 degrees. All right. What's the reason? Go ahead, tell them the reason. You can tell them that triangle HFE is isosceles. since, well, I don't have the space, triangle HEF is isosceles, and so angle EHF equal to angle EFH. That's all you have to tell them. All right, they're isosceles. And if you want to give a reason as to why it is isosceles, it is isosceles because anytime two tangents are drawn from a single external point, then it forms an isosceles triangle. All right. So that means that the distance from E to H is the same as the distance from E to F. All right. That's what that means. Then they want next one, angle FGH. FGH. Let's decipher this together, guys. What are we going to do with this? Well, look. Nice. Angle between a radius and a tangent is 90. So this angle is 90. All right, that angle is 90. If this angle is 90, then this little piece here, so because this is 68, 90 minus 68 is, 90 minus 68 is what? 90 minus 68 is 22. So that little piece is 22. All right, but then this angle now is 90. This angle is 90. Angle in a semicircle is 90. OMG, well, nice. So then angles in a triangle sum to 180. And so this angle is going to be 22 plus 90 subtracted from 180 divided by 2. So angle FGH is equal to, let's write it down, angle FGH is equal to 180 minus, that's the sum of 22 plus 90, and that's equal to 180 minus 22 plus 90. So that's 68 degrees as well. Oh, lucky us. That's also 68 degrees. Then what is the reason? Of course, you're going to tell them that angle at H is 90 because angle a semicircle is 90. And then this is 22 because angle between a tangent and the radius is 90. All right. So you can tell them that angle GFE equal 90 and give them the reason about, make sure you tell them why this angle is 90. This angle is 90 because angle between tangent and radius. All right. Then you're going to tell them that the other, and then also you can tell them that this little piece then is 22, then angle GFH equal 22, and you can tell them that angle GHF equal 90. Why is it 90? That's because angles in a semicircle. All right, and that's the reason. Nice and easy. Next one it want now is angle JHE. Let's find JHE. What are they talking about? JHE. Okay. Angle JHE. JHE. Okay, JHE. JHE is this angle they want. Clearly that angle is 90. How do I know that that angle is 90? Now we just said that little piece here so it's 2, but OF is a radius. and OH is a radius, and so this piece is also 22. If this piece is 22 and this piece is 28, then clearly JHE is 90. So angle JHE is equal to 90. Why is it 90? You give them your reason. You can tell them that OH, or you can tell them triangle OFH is isosceles. This is isosceles since OH and OF are both radii. And so, since it's isosceles, then OH, angle OHF is equal to GFH. Well, angle OHF is equal to OFH, which is equal to 22 degrees. And so, angle JHE, which we know is equal to 68 plus OHF is equal to 90, because OHF is now 22. That's the reason. That's that. Finally, want angle JGH. JGH. Oh God, man, angles in a semicircle is 90. They just ask some easy question here. This clearly is 90. Angle JGH. 90, clearly. Again, angle JGH is 90. So this was a very easy question, as we can see. 90 degrees. This is now angles in a semicircle is 90 degrees. Okay, now part B of the question. So we did the circle theory part. Now let's look at the trigonometry aspect of this question. The trigonometry aspect of this question says the diagram below, not drawn to scale, shows two ships, R and S, at anchor on a lake of calm water. FT is a vertical tower, FSR is a straight line, and RS is 150. The angles of elevation of T, the top of the tower, from R and S is 22 degrees and 40 degrees respectively. It says F is the foot of the tower. Calculate, giving your answer to one decimal place where appropriate, the measure of angle RTS. We didn't need to read all of that, given that they gave us the diagram with everything labeled, but just in case something was missing, we could have went back here and fill in, because it gave us all that we need anyways. Angle RTS, angle RTS. So this is angle RTS we need. Now, you can find RTS in so many ways. This angle, the easiest way I'll say is to say angles on a straight line is 180, and so this piece is going to be 140. And because this angle is 140 and angles in a triangle sum to 180, then angle RTS is equal to 180 minus 140 plus 22. because angles in a triangle sum to 180. So that's the easiest way to find angle RTS. When you do that, what we're going to get for angle RTS is, let's work that out, 180 minus 140 plus 22, that is 18 degrees. This is 18 degrees. So that's angle RTS. Nice and easy, soft. Now it says find the length of ST. So let's find the length of ST. Given that they want the length of ST, we can either use cosine rule or we can use sine rule. All right, we want the length of ST. You have two sides and an angle in between. But let's use sine rule. Now 150 corresponds to this angle. So what am I saying? I'm saying that ST over ST, this is ST, corresponds to 22 degrees. So ST over sine 22 using sine rule, ST over sine 22 must be equal to this 150 here over 18 degrees over sine 18. All right, so what that means is we can transpose to find what ST is. So if we were to transpose, we're going to get that ST is equal to sine 22 times 150 over sine 18. So sine 22 times 150 divided by the sine of 18. That's 181.8 meters. So ST is 181.8 meters. (181.8 meters). That is going to be ST. Nice. Now that we get ST, ST is the hypotenuse in this triangle, so it won't know the height of the tower FT. So now that we get ST or TS, we can find the height of the tower now. Now this is opposite, and we have the hypotenuse. So let's go ahead and do that. So we know that the sine of 40 degrees is equal to the opposite, which is FT, over the hypotenuse of 181.8. And so we just need to transpose to find FT. Transposing to find FT, that will tell us that FT is sine 140, sine 40 times 181.8. So FT is equal to 181.8 multiplied by sine 40. So that will give you FT. So FT is 116.9 degrees. Nice and easy, soft. Now question 11. Question 11 is vector AB, find vector AB. Vector AB is equal to OB minus OA. That's vector AB. Vector AB is equal to OB minus OA. All right, so OB is 6 minus 2, that's 4. And then 1 minus minus 2 is 3. So that's vector AB. Now it wants vector AC. Vector AC is OC, vector OC minus vector OA. Okay? Nice. So what is vector AC? Vector AC is OC 10 minus 2, which is 8. And then 4 minus minus 2, which is 6. So that's vector AC. 8, 6. Nice. Now the question says, hence, determine whether A, B, C are collinear. Now, first and foremost, we can see that clearly, we can see that AC, which is 8, 6, we can factor out 2 and see that AC is 2 times 4, 3. But 4, 3, as we said, is vector AB. And so vector AC is equal to 2AB. Now, since vector AC is equal to 2AB, then AC, vector AC is parallel to AB. So this is how you write parallel symbol. You can say vector AC is parallel to vector AB, because AC is 2AB, and so AC is parallel to AB. Now, since they're parallel, they also have a common point A. They have a common point in A. So they have a common point A. Since they have a common point 8, then A, B, and C are collinear. That just means they are in a straight line. All right. Common point A, and say yes, they are collinear. Yes, they are collinear. Say yes. A, B, and C are collinear. That is the 3 points line, a straight line. That's what collinear means. Right? They are collinear. So what I want to show you is pretty much this. If you were to sketch it on a graph, just to get a rough sketch of what's going on, the point 2, negative 2 is 2, negative 2 is somewhere here. This would be the point A, 2, negative 2. The point B is 6, 1. So 6, 1 would be somewhere like here. Now let me not go so far out. Let me not go so far out. Let's squinch it a little better. Let's say here is 10. Let's say here is 10 on the X. Cut it in half. Here is 5. And here is 0. On the Y-axis. So let's say now you want 2, negative 2. 2, negative 2 can be here. So let's that be negative 2. All right, so somewhere here is positive 2. And somewhere here is positive 4. So what we're saying is this is the point A, negative 2, negative 2. B is the point 6, 1. 6, 1 would be somewhere right here. That's the point B. Then the point C is 10, 4. This is the point C. All right, clearly they're collinear. So this is it. This is A, B, C in a straight line. All right, that's what collinear means. They're in a straight line. All right, nice and easy. Soft. Now it says, determine the value of X that will make this matrix singular. Now this matrix is singular if and only if the determinant is 0. To find the determinant is a product of the leading diagonals, which is 12, minus the product of the non-leading diagonal. So 12 minus 2x is 0. So if 12 minus 2x is 0, then 2x is 12. If 2x is 12, we can divide both sides by 2 to get that x is equal to 6. All right, now it says N and P are two matrices such that N equal to 4, 1, 3, 2, and P is 1, 5, 2, 1. Determine N times P. Now N times P is going to be equal to 4, 1, 3, 2. That's N times P. 4, 1, 3, 2. And that's being multiplied by 1, 5, 2, 1. All right, so when we multiply them across, it's going to be a row by column. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 times 2. So that's 4 plus 2, which is 6. Then it's going to be row by column. It's going to be row by column. So 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 times 1 is 21. And it's going to be row by column, which is 3 times 1, plus 2 times 2, that is 4 plus 3, which is 7. Then row by column, 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 times 1, that's 17. So that would be the value of n times p. 621, 717. And I don't know why I changed the ink. Something was coming to me, but I didn't. I don't know why. It says, given that Pn is 19, 11, 11, 4, determine whether the matrix multiplication is commutative. No, matrix commutative it's not commutative. So because Pn is not equal to Np, then it's not commutative. Pn is not equal to Np, and so matrix multiplication is not commutative. Nice and easy, soft. Then the final part now of this paper, it says determine n inverse, or n to the minus 1, which is the inverse of n. To find the inverse of n, the inverse of n is 1 over the determinant of n. First thing, I'm going to write down the determinant of n right here. The determinant of n is a product of the leading diagonal, which is 4 times 2 minus 1 times 3. 4 times 2 is 8. Product of the leading diagonals minus non-leading diagonals. And so the determinant of n is 5. Then the adjoint of n means we interchange the leading diagonals and negate the non-leading. And so what is going to be the inverse of n? The inverse of n is equal to 1 over the determinant of n, which is 1 over 5, multiplied by the adjoint. What is the adjoint? The adjoint of n is negative, it's 2, 4, negative 1, negative 3. So right here it's going to be 2, right here says 4, then we have negative 1, negative 3. Then it says, hence calculate the value of x and y for this here. So what we have right here is n, right here, so we really have the matrix n times some unknown matrix x equal to some result, let's call this a. So if n times x equal a, we can pre-multiply by n inverse to get x is equal to n inverse of a, n inverse times a. So what is that saying? That is telling us that xy is equal to 1 over the determinant, which is 1 over 5, multiplied by 2, negative 1, negative 3, 4, multiplied by a, and this matrix is 1, 2. So this is what we're going to work out. All right, so let's just take a second to work this out quite easily. So when we evaluate this, it's going to be 1/5 of 2 times 1 is 2, plus negative 1 times 2 is negative 2, 2 minus 2, that's 0. Then we have negative 3 times 1 is negative 3, plus 4 times 2, that's 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. So this right here is 0, 5. All right, 1/5 of 0, 5 is 0, 1. 0, 1. So what does that mean? That means that x equals 0 and y equal 1. X equals 0 and y equal 1. Nice and easy, soft. And that takes care of this paper. And this paper was 2016 June paper. Make sure to subscribe, help the channel grow, please help out the channel. Just hit that subscribe button, that's all you have to do. And all the best preparing for your exam.